This one was quite fun to look at, I'm not gonna lie. It was an incredible article. Check out the Edmonton Journal's post right here onto their website. Why Sam Gagner makes sense as a short-term fix for the Edmonton Oilers. Obviously, this is a Vancouver Canucks-based channel, primarily around Vancouver topics, Vancouver media. So, Canucks fans watching this, you're like, okay, really? We're looking at Edmonton journalism now? Let's take a look at this, because this concerns the Vancouver Canucks. It's our Pacific Division rivals, the Edmonton Oilers, and their media asking about Sam Gagner, who is Vancouver Canucks property. This is an interesting read. I'm not going to read the entire thing on here because that would kind of be just like stealing the content. So we're going to take a look at a few paragraphs, a few quotes from this post. Primarily the first one and the headline. The Edmonton Oilers desperately need more secondary scoring as well as an actual right-handed third-line center. But they're on a budget. Sam Gagner would give the club both. He's available, he's looking, and I believe that the Oilers organization has genuine interest in the player. But it takes two to tango. Now, it goes on a little bit further talking about how the Vancouver Canucks apparently have a really deep forward core in comparison to the Oilers, and it's interesting, this next paragraph that comes right after. For those who correctly point out that Gagner is down in the AHL today because he's not among Vancouver's best 12 forwards, I do not disagree. But the Canucks also have superior forward depth than the Oilers. As such, their bubble players are probably roster players here. And I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I'm not the Edmonton guy who's saying this to Edmonton people. I'm just broadcasting this opinion and this idea to Vancouver fans because, let's face it, the majority of my fan base here are Vancouver Canucks fans. So I kind of want to get your thoughts on this, guys. What do you think about this? What do you think about the idea of Kurt Levens on the Edmonton Journal talking about how the Oilers should pursue Canucks property Sam Gagner? It talks in the post here about how Gagner plays, how he's kind of slow, and how that's not really all that important because of the guys that the Oilers have who are slower than Gagner and who are still making prominent impacts and having their roles on the team. But the weird thing is, the trade that he actually proposes in this article is one that I don't really care for, nor do I really want to think about happening at all. He says that if Gagner came to the Oilers, it would need to have a certain amount of cap going the other way because of how Edmonton's cap is constructed. And as a result, Kurt here proposes that the Canucks and Oilers swap Spooner for Gagner, which I don't really want to think about. I mean, it's not like Spooner is terrible. It's not like Gagner is terrible, heck. But it's just the idea of having a trade that only results in the swapping of contracts, and the idea that is quoted here as a change of scenery for both guys that could help both clubs and both men. Which, honestly, I don't really think is a move that needs to be made. If we traded Sam Gagner, the Vancouver Canucks are a team that would ask for something back that could actually be useful for them. It's not Peter Chiarelli here making these moves. Jim Benning has gone out there and acquired things that most of the time have helped the Canucks build a better future. Somebody like Ryan Spooner's not going to do that. And hey, I get it. If it's Ryan Spooner and a draft pick, I'm all for that. I love that. I think Jim Benning coming out here earlier today saying that they're not trading away any draft picks and building for the future is what their plan is. It's the ultimate insurance here. Because if Sam Gagner gets traded, we need to get something back like, let's say, a pick, a late pick, or maybe a C-level prospect. We did that with Del Zotto. We got Luke Shen and a draft pick for Del Zotto. Why wouldn't we be able to do the same thing with Sam Gagner? Give him to a team that needs a center, a right-handed guy who can probably play in the NHL. Let's just say that. Probably play in the NHL. Obviously, he's not with Vancouver, but I digress. If we traded Sam Gagner to the Oilers in exchange for a pick, maybe a 4th or a 5th, I'd be loving that. But for just Ryan Spooner, I don't really... Nah, I'm good. I'm really good. Just kidding, I'm really sick. I can't really talk when it's quiet. I can talk when I'm, like, louder, but when I'm like this, nah, I can't do it, man. It's been like a week, why can't I talk? It's been like a week, why can't I talk properly anymore? Hope you guys enjoyed this video. To replacing that, Gaming, and bye.